Okay, so a couple of things that the HSC markers said in their feedback was that you need to make sure that you address keywords such as outline, describe, and explain. And they also want you to highlight, underline key components of the question. So I'm just going to do that with you very quickly, just in section 1 section 1 and 2 of the HSC exam. So we're going to start down here at question 21. Now, the first thing is the key term. And the key term here for question 21A is to outline. Okay, so I'll just circle that there for you. Now, outline means to provide the basic characteristics. So I'll just give a very general overview of what you're needing to do that for, and that is, of course, here, measures of epidemiology. So you need to provide the general characteristics of epidemiology in that question. Okay, so for the next question, our key term is to describe. Now, to describe, obviously, is to provide characteristics and features, and here it says of the limitations of epidemiology. Okay, so you need to provide characteristics and features of limitations related to epidemiology as you answer that question. And this simple exercise, just going through and circling and underlining, makes everything a lot easier. So we scroll. Okay, so here, again, the keyword here at the front, explain. Okay, explain, relate, cause, and effect. So it says explain both the risk factors and the protective factors of cardiovascular disease. So we need to relate the cause to the effect, right? And protective factors are a cause and the effect. So the whole way through this question, I expect to see how the risk factors cause different cardiovascular diseases, with specific examples of those diseases and specific risk factors, and the same for specific protective factors and how they prevent multiple cardiovascular diseases. Okay, so you see here question 23 is an 8-mark question, so it's one of the larger questions and the harder questions that you're going to get asked for core 1 or core 2. You'll see it's not using a key term, but what it actually has is the words to what extent. Now, the words to what extent are basically asking you to make a judgment. Okay, so to what extent does Australia's healthcare system benefit from having a healthy ageing population? When we look at the syllabus here, we have Australia's healthcare system, and we also have the healthy and ageing population. Okay, so you need to make a judgment about how much healthy ageing actually benefits healthcare. So you need to talk about the positives of healthy ageing and how it affects, how it will help reduce the burden on the healthcare system, but also if there isn't healthy ageing, the effects that will have on the healthcare system. In order to really get your full marks, you need to kind of provide a bit of a sides from both, kind of a discussion, and then make your judgment about to what extent healthy ageing is actually going to benefit. And I would suggest that it's probably going to benefit a lot, provided we have lots of people who do it. So question 24 is asking you to use examples. Now, don't be fooled. Every single question, you should be using examples. Okay, the key term here is explain. Okay, so again, we're relating cause and effect. The parts of the syllabus, vitamins or minerals, and of course, we're talking about athletic performance, okay, because we're now doing factors affecting performance. So you need to relate the cause and effect, okay? How does the vitamin actually cause an improvement in performance? And give an example of that. So maybe something like B vitamins help to transport and move energy around the body, which then allows performance to continue for longer and allows the athlete to be more alert in their performances, something like that. Question 25, again, a rather large one because it's got worth 7 marks here, asks you to compare. Okay, this is our key word, to compare, and you can see I'm circling it again. Okay, so we're going to compare 2 different energy systems by exploring their duration, their sources of fuel, and their cause of fatigue. And you need to, of course, use examples to support your answer. Okay, so when we're looking at the syllabus content, we're looking at energy systems. Okay, and they've actually detailed the specific parts that you need to compare. So you need to compare duration, sources of fuel, and the causes of fatigue. So that means that you need to pick 2 energy systems, whether that be the alactic acid, the lactic acid, or the aerobic energy systems, and compare their duration, sources of fuel, and causes of fatigue. Now, by compare, you need to, of course, identify similarities and differences. Okay, so what we're looking for as we mark something like this is we're going to talk about using words like this is similar to, or you might say this is different. This is contrast to the aerobic energy system. You need to actually use those types of words, those types of phrases to show that you're comparing the two energy systems in your answer. So question 26 is the largest question for this core 2. And again, it's going to ask you to explain. So again, we're relating cause and effect. So this exam had a lot of explain, a lot of relating cause and effect. Now this says to explain the physiological adaptations an individual develops in response to the different principles of training, and of course use examples. Okay, so your cause, okay, is going to be your principles of training, which is straight out of your syllabus, and your effect are the physiological adaptations, again straight out of your syllabus. Okay, so you should, if you're planning to write for this, you might jot down a few of the physiological adaptations that you're expecting to see, and then you'll also jot down a whole list of the principles of training. So as you answer this as an 8-mark question, I would expect to see pretty much a paragraph for each of the principles of training, and a clear relationship between that principle of training and how it causes a physiological adaptation in an athlete that then improves their performance. Remember, this is all about this is factors affecting performance. Everything has to do with improving the athlete's performance, or at least having an effect on the athlete's performance, because it might be detrimental to their performance as well. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to run through with you today.